Every Disney fan knows the magic looks effortless, but behind every flawless character is a performer sweating inside a heavy, hot costume, peering out through tiny mesh openings while handlers watch for trouble and cooling vests fight off heat. We're counting down the 10 funniest mishaps caught on camera and the training that makes recovery possible. In the 10th place, Goofy's parade stumble at Tokyo Disneyland sets the tone for the countdown. As the crowd watches, Goofy trips on the curb, teeters dramatically, then sells the moment with a classic wobble, never breaking character for a second. The performer waves off an attendant, turning what could be an awkward fall into pure slapstick, all while hidden inside a costume that can weigh close to 50 pounds. This kind of recovery is not luck. It is the result of animation improv drills and safety training, including the knees first fall technique. Even in the face of a surprise slip, Goofy's performer keeps the magic alive, showing just how much skill and quick thinking it takes to turn a mishap into a memory. Number 9 brings Buzz Lightyear's unforgettable run in with a glass door at Disneyland Paris. As Buzz strides confidently through the park, he walks straight into an invisible barrier and bounces off with a flourish that turns surprise into comedy. The crowd's laughter hides a real challenge because Buzz's helmet design forces performers to peer through a narrow mesh visor that shrinks their field of view to about 30 degrees, barely more than tunnel vision. With such restricted peripheral sight, even a wide open plaza can become an obstacle course. This clip is more than a viral gag. It is a window into the engineering limits of costume design. When a space ranger can't see what is coming, it is not just a slip. It is a lesson in how much trust performers place in their training and their unseen handlers. 8th place delivers a heart-stopping moment from Walt Disney World where Mickey Mouse's massive head suddenly tilts forward mid-parade. In a split second, the harness holding the head in place gives way. Torquay from a sharp turn loosens the padded strap, sending the iconic face askew. The performer freezes in character, but an attendant sprints into view, kneels, and with practiced speed, snaps the quick-release buckle back into place. A burst of radio chatter crackles as the fix is made, all while the parade keeps rolling. This incident spotlights the hidden engineering behind those smiling faces. Hedda harnesses use reinforced webbing and adjustable buckles, but repeated motion and sudden twist can shift even the best design. Without vigilant attendants and constant checks, a simple strap slip could break the Disney illusion. Here, teamwork and training turn a potential disaster into a blink and you miss it save. Number 7 features a gusty surprise for Donald at Disneyland. As the parade rounds a corner, a sudden blast of wind rips Donald's tail clean off, sending it cartwheeling down Main Street while the performer spins around in feathery confusion. The crowd bursts into laughter as an attendant dashes after the runaway tail, but Donald keeps waddling along, flapping his arms in classic cartoon panic. Behind the slapstick, there is a real engineering challenge at play. Those fluffy tails are attached with Velcro, which can lose most of its grip after repeated use, especially when hit with 20 to 40 miles per hour winds. In fact, lab tests show Velcro's shear strength drops below 1 pound per square inch after just 100 cycles, making it no match for a strong breeze. It is a reminder that weather can outsmart even the best costume designs, and that performers need quick reflexes and a sense of humor when the elements decide to join the show. Number 6 lands us at Tokyo Disneyland, where Winnie the Pooh finds himself in a classic jam, literally stuck in a doorway. The scene unfolds with Pooh's famously round costume wedged tight between the door frames, his plush belly and rigid sides refusing to budge. Attendants rush over, gently pushing and coaxing, while the performer inside stays perfectly in character, wussing and wiggling to the delight of the crowd. These oversized suits are not just soft and cuddly, they demand at least 30 inches of clearance, and even then, the foam and fabric can catch on narrow entries. Getting wedged backstage or at meet and greets is more common than you would think, thanks to the mismatch between cartoon proportions and real-world spaces. As Pooh's team finally eases him through, it is a reminder that even the happiest bear can run into trouble when costume geometry meets tight corners. Now, in the middle of the countdown, which challenge do you think is toughest for Disney performers? Limited visibility, heavy weight, extreme heat, or unpredictable crowds? Drop your answer in the comments below. Number 5 spotlights a classic Chip and Dale collision during a Disneyland parade. As the chipmunks hustle through their routine, both performers, almost entirely reliant on tiny mesh viewports, misjudge their spacing and bump headlong into each other, tumbling to the pavement in a pile of fur and feet. The crowd erupts in laughter. Within seconds, character attendants step in, guiding both chipmunks back to their feet and subtly repositioning them for safety. Paired fur characters like Chip and Dale depend on attendants stationed within a 6-foot safety zone, using hand signals and discrete radio cues to help navigate tight choreography. When two near-blind performers share the same space, even the smallest misstep can turn into slapstick mayhem. This incident highlights the teamwork required between performers and handlers to keep the parade rolling, and the magic of the show even when things go sideways. Number 4 brings a rare glimpse beneath the magic at Walt Disney World, where Genie's blue suit suffers a dramatic seam tear mid-performance. For a few unforgettable minutes, the tear reveals a layer of high-tech white fabric, the cooling vest that keeps the performer safe inside the costume's sweltering heat. Genie's performer stays in character, wubbing and dancing, but the exposed vest tells a hidden story. In Florida's summer, core temperatures inside these costumes can climb past 100 degrees, so performers rely on phase change material vests designed to hold a safe temperature for up to 4 hours, far longer than standard gel packs. To prevent heat exhaustion, strict backstage rotations limit each shift to just 20 or 30 minutes in weather above 95 degrees. Every visible mishap is backed by a careful system of health protocols and engineering, proving that even when the magic slips, performer safety comes first. Coming to the top 3, Tigger's tail finds trouble at Disneyland when it gets snagged in the gears of a passing parade float. In an instant, the bouncing tail, usually stitched with reinforced seams for durability, catches on a moving part, yanking Tigger back and forcing the entire procession to a halt. Parade music fades as character attendants spring into action, signaling an emergency stop and inspecting both costume and machinery for damage. For nearly 3 minutes, the crowd waits while handlers check for tears and make sure no fabric has wrapped around the float's drive system. This episode highlights a hidden risk. Even a small appendage, if caught, can exploit weak points in seam construction, with the needle holes acting as tear propagation lines under sudden tension. Float clearance drills are supposed to prevent these mishaps, but in the chaos of a live parade, even the best training meets real-world unpredictability. Only after a careful inspection can the parade safely resume, with Tigger's tail and the Disney illusion intact. In second place, Baymax's parade performance at Tokyo Disneyland takes a sudden turn when the inflatable hero tips over and cannot get back up. The crowd's laughter quickly turns to concern as Baymax, stuck on his back and waving his arms, waits for help. Unlike most costumes, Baymax relies entirely on a steady flow of air from internal blowers, delivering between 200 and 500 cubic feet per minute to stay upright. If the internal pressure drops below 0.3 pounds per square inch, even for a moment, the whole suit loses stability and collapses like a deflating balloon. That is why Disney engineers build in redundant blower systems and pressure sensors, but even these cannot fight gravity when the performer stumbles. Recovery is not a solo act. It takes a team of 3 trained attendants to perform the official lift and roll maneuver, carefully righting Baymax without damaging the delicate seams or startling the performer inside. One attendant says, "We practice this every week. Timing and teamwork are everything." The moment Baymax returns to his feet, the parade rolls on with the illusion restored. This incident highlights just how specialized the protocols are for inflatable characters, and how every detail, from air pressure to coordinated rescue, matters when the magic is on the line. And finally, in first place, Disneyland Paris delivers the most unforgettable costume mishap of all, a multi-character parade pileup that brought the entire procession to a standstill. The chain reaction begins when the lead float suddenly halts, forcing a cluster of beloved characters, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald, into a tangled heap of fur and oversized shoes. As the crowd gasps and then erupts into laughter, the real challenge unfolds behind the scenes. Parade performers rely on strict spacing, usually about 10 feet between each character, to navigate with limited sightlines, often seeing only a narrow slice of the world through mesh eye holes or tinted visors. When that spacing collapses, a single emergency stop can trigger a domino effect, with one character bumping into another, setting off a cascade of collisions that is nearly impossible to untangle without outside help. For nearly 2 minutes, radio chatter crackles between handlers as they coordinate the recovery. Character attendants trained for just this kind of chaos spring into action, guiding performers out of the pile, checking for injuries, and resetting the parade flow. The incident prompted immediate changes. Parade spacing was widened by 10 feet in future performances, and new emergency stop drills were added to handler training. A safety and recovery checklist now ensures spacing enforcement, radio redundancy, and clear emergency protocols before every parade. This viral moment, seen by millions online, is not just a comedy of errors, it is a masterclass in teamwork under pressure. The pileup lays bare the hidden risks of live entertainment, where even the best training and planning cannot predict every variable, yet as the characters dust themselves off and the parade resumes, the Disney illusion remains intact, proof that behind every laugh there is a dedicated team working tirelessly to keep the magic alive, no matter what goes wrong. Across all these wild mishaps, one truth stands out. Disney magic depends on real people turning chaos into comedy without ever breaking character. Every tumble or costume fail is proof of skill, training, and heart. That's the real illusion. Did these moments give you a new appreciation for the craft?